Every day, over 220 million Nigerians wake up hoping that today there will be electricity. But this hope is quickly dashed by disappointment and frustration. The light goes out, the generator roars to life, businesses loses money, students struggle to study, hospitals battles to save life because of poor electricity. The tragedy is not that Nigerians lack energy resource. Tragedy is that a nation so blessed with natural resource, sunshine, rivers, wind, and brilliant mind still cannot generate uninterrupted electricity for his people after over 60 years of independence. So today we are asking, what is the problem? Why are we unable? Why are we paying for darkness? Why are Nigerians continuously plunged into darkness? The reality is this. Nigeria is one of Africa's largest economy, yet our available electricity generation fluctuates between 4,000 and 5,500 megawatt. This is for a population of over 220 million people. To put this in perspective, one modern city in some countries consume more electricity than several states in Nigeria put together. Millions of Nigerians have never experienced 24 hours of uninterrupted power supply their entire lifetime. Families spend enormous sums every year, every week, every month on generator and diesel. Business loses because the cost of production becomes unbearable. Hospital equally loses patient because there is no light to power the necessary equipment to perform even basic surgeries. Young innovators across the country cannot compete with their peers because of constant power outages. This is not merely an electricity problem. It is an educational problem. It is an economic problem. In fact, it is a healthcare problem and a national development problem. Now, let's look beyond Nigeria, because when you have never traveled, you will really not understand what happened in other places. And that is why we continue to see Nigerians hailing their politicians and calling them all the name Otokunadu, Wekansi, and all the other many names with which we quote our politicians. Now let's look at this. Countries that have faced similar challenge as we are now, but have been able to direct themselves on a different path. For example, China invested heavily in power generation, transmission, infrastructure, manufacturing capacity, and long-term industrial planning. Today, it generates more electricity than other nations and exports electrical equipment across the world. Let's look at India. Despite its massive population, we find expanded renewable energy, its electricity grid. It has strengthened state-level reform and connected hundreds of millions of people to electricity within a very relatively short time. How about Norway? It has harnessed its river through hydropower. Almost all of its electricity as of today are from renewable energy, and it now provides reliable and affordable energy to its citizens while exporting energy to neighboring countries. Just a little to our backyard here, Morocco. With fewer natural resources, it has been able to transform itself into a renewable energy leader by deliberately making investment in large-scale solar and wind projects. What do these countries have in common? It is not luck. It is not magic. They don't have superior natural resources, but they have made long-term decisions. They invested in infrastructures. They strengthen their institutions. They encourage innovations. They reduce policy inconsistency. Most importantly, they treat electricity not as a political promise, but as a foundation for national development. Nigeria really does not suffer from shortage of resources. We suffer from shortage of consistency. We have enough sunshine to power millions of homes. We possess one of Africa's largest natural gas reserves. We have rivers capable of generating clean hydro power. We have talented engineers, entrepreneurs, researchers, and innovators. Yet we continue to struggle because of decades of underinvestment, weak infrastructure, policy inconsistency, inadequate maintenance, electricity theft, vandalism, and limited local manufacturing. Of course, there are governance challenges and insufficient citizen participation in shaping the energy future. Energy is too important to be left in the hands of politicians alone. Electricity is the engine for modern economy. Without reliable electricity, industrialization remains slow, unemployment grows, investment decline, and poverty persists. Nigeria electricity crisis is not inevitable. It is resolvable. But solving it requires leadership. It requires accountability. Nigerians have pumped millions of dollars into its energy over the period of years with nothing to show for it. There must be accountability. Of course, we have to bring innovation to bear. There should be investment and active citizen engagement. This campaign reminds us that electricity should serve the people and not the other way round. The future we desire will not be built by generators. It will be built by policies that work, institutions that deliver, communities that participate, and leaders who place national development above short-term interest. The question is no longer whether Nigeria can solve its electricity problem. The real question is, do we have the collective will to do so? Because when Nigeria finally gets its electricity right, we will not only illuminate homes, we will unlock the full potential of this nation. So I call on everybody, policymakers and citizens across the country, to lend their voice to energy democracy in Nigeria. It is time to take the power back to the people and not in the hand of the hegemons and the few multinationals and businesses that are plunging the country into darkness while profiting on the collective pain of the people. Thank you very much.